All right, ladies and gentlemen, just making sure that we are up and good to go before we start the show here. So let's just see how it goes. And are we good? Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another spicy episode of the Sanity stream with Lucius Coal. If you like this type of content, go down below, like, subscribe, share, and of course leave a comment if you think I deserve it. The Coal Factory and the Coal Train on our way to 1,000 Patriots strong. Thanks to people like you watching content like this. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, crazy show for you today. For those of you who haven't seen, some breaking news coming out right now about some of the Q activities that are going on across the nation. Of course, many of you are familiar with the January 6th insurrection. And of course, I'm using quotation marks there. Just a bunch of people who had no idea what was going on. I would consider it more of a riot than anything else. But of course, the left is going to push their proverbial way into whatever direction they desire. With that said, we do have a House member, that's right, Majorie Taylor Greene, who apparently is one of the Q people, the Q-tards, if you will. And the only reason why I'm so very almost obnoxious when I talk about these particular people is because when you're putting out disinformation, it actually hurts the movement. It doesn't help the movement. And there were a lot of people that I know personally that believed that what was going to happen on January 6th was going to be some crazy breaking news, Donald Trump going out on the House floor and showing the Dominion voting machines and actually tabulating them and this, that, and the other. But none of that ever actually came to fruition. And a bunch of people, I mean, to this very day, there are still people on the internet saying that Donald Trump is going to be the president of the United States for the next 4 years. It blows my mind that they're able to continue on with this grift for as long as they have. It really is a modern day tragedy. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, House Democrats plan to showdown vote for Thursday over stripping Representative Majorie Taylor Greene of her committee assignments over her endorsement of racist and conspiratorial views, as the chamber's top Republicans signaled they would not bow to bipartisan demands to punish her. The defiance by Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy came Wednesday as the House GOP also grappled over what to do about Representative Liz Cheney, their number 3 leader, after she backed Donald Trump's impeachment. The decisions over how to handle the 2 Republican lawmakers subjected the GOP to a politically agonizing test of the direction of the party as it moved towards Donald Trump's presidency. Ladies and gentlemen, regardless of what I think about Q, the fact that this woman is being targeted is an absolute disgrace. I don't even know how this is legal. You have a bunch of people, a bunch of constituents that voted this woman into office, and yet here you have the powers that be, the deep state, the establishment, whatever you want to call them, who are actively trying to remove her from committee positions. This is insane to me. You're telling me that I'm going to vote for somebody to go out there and fight for me, get into a position of power where they can enact change in the United States of America, and because you do not agree with some of their views, you are going to kick them out of any positional power that they could have possibly accumulated to affect change in America. It really is disturbing, because it's not going to be just Q. It's going to wither and become much broader. And over and over and over again, you're going to see that January 6th, January 6th, January 6th, any single time somebody comes in and poses some theory or some conspiracy, if you will, there's going to be people out there that are going to use that to their advantage, and people are going to be posting things on Twitter or Parler if it was still out there, or Gab or what have you, and they're going to use that information against duly elected officials that have been put into office to fight for the American people, and they're going to say, not you. And this is the establishment fighting back. And I've kind of lost all faith in the GOP. I mean, they are truly a hornet's nest. I have no idea why Donald Trump doesn't use his current leverage that he has right now and say, hey, look, if you impeach me, or if you try to hang anything over my head, anything whatsoever, this farce of an impeachment, then I'm going to create the Patriot Party. And even if they do impeach Donald Trump, don't you think Junior is going to be right there on the coattails, You don't think Donald Trump Jr. isn't just going to go in there and take his father's place? So this is all, it's ludicrous what we're looking at here. It's an illegal impeachment. The man is not even in office anymore, and yet they're going to impeach him after leaving office. If that's the case, if you're setting the precedent that you can impeach someone after they've been removed, or, you know, after they quote unquote lost an election, then you should be able to do that with every president, right? Heck, let's pull back Obama. Let's impeach Obama. Let's impeach Bush. Let's impeach Clinton. Let's keep going. Let's just keep impeaching everyone. Why are we going to stop at Trump? I mean, geez, there's a bunch of war criminals that we would love to have impeachment processes over. Why don't we actually do that? They don't understand what they're doing. They really don't. Or maybe they do. Maybe they do understand what they're doing. I really think the Democrats and the Republicans are doing everything in their power to tear this country apart. They talk about unity. They talk about healing. Bullshit. That's what that is. Bullshit. They don't want any healing. They don't want any unity. They want to accumulate the most amount of power humanly possible so that they can stick their boot on our neck and ask us to thank them. Thank them for having their foot on our neck. That's what it's really about. This has nothing to do with Republican. This has nothing to do with Democrat. This has everything to do with them wanting to accumulate more and more power. It is an absolute joke. BHaze82, great to see you back. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for stopping in. For those who haven't seen, another travesty. Is any of us really surprised at this point, though? They are going after everyone. Anyone who dares stand up and defend this nation, anyone who dares to fight back, anyone who dares to call out their mind games and their pedo asses and their complete, utter denial of reality, any person who dares to speak truth is censored and silenced. Anyone who dares to garner actual power, whether it be at the House or the Senate or local, they are completely castigated and removed. You are unpersoned. You have your insurance removed from you. You are labeled a domestic terrorist. Welcome to America. Welcome to the freest quote-unquote nation. I hate this place. For those of you who haven't seen, Wisconsin prosecutor seeks Rittenhouse arrest. Again, the political prisoner that is Kyle Rittenhouse, for those of you who haven't seen my original video where I break down the footage in real time on the actual night that it actually happened, and not through some spin, but through actually viewing the videos themselves, you will see this is a clear-cut case of self-defense, and of course the left wants blood. Because anyone who would dare defend their property, dare to defend their community, must somehow, some way, be a white supremacist. Clearly not wanting your apartments burned to the ground, your houses burned to the ground, your way of life burned to the ground. My friend, his business in Kenosha, burned to the fucking ground. Burned to the ground. Not a single fire on January 6th. And then they are going to come to tell us, the American government, the kings of violence, the kings of death, war, destruction, kill as many women and children as humanly possible, millions of fucking dead Muslims on the American government's hands, and they're going to lecture us about violence. Spare me. Spare me. It's a fucking joke. You kill millions of women and children, and then you're going to get into a big farce and a big tizzy about some people walking around your sacred, hallowed Capitol grounds. Fuck off. Fucking disgusting. These people are gross. It's all hyperbole. As if they give a fuck about this nation. They only care about as much as you can give them money. That's how much they care about you. They care about as much as they can use you as human cattle, so that they can line their pockets while they get their nice little beach houses and their multi-million-dollar mansions. So fucking spare me about how much you give a fuck about America. You don't give a shit. It's a total joke. Wisconsin prosecutors seek Rittenhouse arrest, higher bond. I mean, they're just going after this kid. Prosecutors asked a judge Wednesday for a new arrest warrant for an Illinois teen charged with shooting 3 people, killing 2 of them during a protest over police brutality. Yes, a protest where you burn businesses to the ground, you attack random people in the streets, you are total chaos and anarchy, you refuse to allow the National Guard to actually come in and help support the police officers. And then, of course, the moment people are like, hey, you know what? The government's not going to protect us. I guess we have to do it ourselves. That person all of a sudden is a white supremacist. Give me a fucking break. Everyone who's white who happens to defend this nation is somehow a white supremacist. Fuck you. Fuck you. How about that? You racist scumfuck pieces of shit. 100% true, Kumar Pathak. Thank you. Please put a shirt on, bro. Dude. Bro. This is where it's at right here. This is where it's at. I'm listening to Anomaly, dude. I'm getting too jacked for the gulag. I'm not going to this gulag. I'm not allowing this government to be the tyrannical piece of shit that it is and tread on me. So you know what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen? We're going to get freaking jacked. We're going to shoot guns. We're going to get jacked. Too jacked for the gulag, ladies and gentlemen. Kyle Rittenhouse failed to inform the court of his changes of address within 48 hours of moving. Kenosha County prosecutors alleged in a motion with Judge Bruce Schroeder. The motion asked Schroeder to issue an arrest warrant and increase Rittenhouse bail by $200,000. This man was also bailed out by conservatives, by libertarians, by logical thinkers who can clearly see this was a clear-cut case of self-defense. It took $2 million to get this kid out, and yet somehow that doesn't violate the Bill of Rights. $2 million for self-defense. Welcome to America. Shave the pits then. Hell no, dude. Masculinity 100%. Let's go. We are too womenized. We're too feminized here in America. We are bitches, pussies, losers, cocks. Is this what we want to be? Fuck that, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to stay. All right, I'm feeling it, guys. I'm feeling it. Either way, Rittenhouse, I mean, this, for those of you who know, I mean, I feel like I'm preaching to the choir at this point, but I think we all know in our heart of hearts, this was a clear-cut case of self-defense. This kid happened to put out, just a quick breakdown, he was there in Kenosha. He was a lifeguard. He happened to work there. He was from Illinois. It was very common for him to be in Kenosha. He happened to be borrowed a gun from his friend, went to go down there to protect the community, was actually being a quote-unquote like a field medic. He was helping out people that were quote-unquote peacefully protesting, aka rioting. There happened to be a group of people that happened to set a garbage can on fire and pushed it towards a gas station. Genius move, I know. These super high IQ libtards hitting it at the next level. Of course, he goes to stop them, puts the trash can out, and then one man decides that this is somehow just a blatant racist white supremacist who is trying to stop people from being killed at a gas station. He happens to run away. Rosenbaum, who's the man who's chasing after Rittenhouse, chases after Rittenhouse. A man who is about 50 feet away shoots a gun into the air. At the exact same time, Rosenbaum goes to reach for Rittenhouse's rifle, and he is shot and killed. 4 shots. 3 of them apparently from Rittenhouse. The 4th one has not been confirmed whether or not that bullet was actually his. Next thing you know, he gets on his phone. He calls the police. No one picks up. One of the cameramen that were there, one of the journalists that were actually on the ground doing real fucking news, actually seeing it in real time, said, hey, you're being chased down by a giant mob of people. Rittenhouse runs towards the police. A bunch of people come up behind him. One person, he falls down to the ground. One of them tried to hit him with a skateboard. He turns around, shoots one, shoots the other who's trying to hit him with a skateboard, and then shoots one, and then one guy goes to run up, shows that he has no weapons in his hand, and then as Rittenhouse drops his weapon, he pulls a pistol out to shoot Rittenhouse, in which case Rittenhouse blows that dude's freaking bicep off. It is the clearest cut case of self-defense. And the left is trying to make it seem like this guy's a white supremacist. Everyone is a white supremacist. If everyone's a white supremacist, then there are no white supremacists. If everyone's a Nazi, then no one's a Nazi. These people are so ignorant. They are so stupid. Unbelievably stupid. Speaking of stupid stuff, for those of you who haven't seen, breaking news, Parler CEO John Matz is fired less than 1 month after the right-wing social media network was shut down, and I'm talking about Parler here, over incendiary Capitol siege posts. Now, of course, we all know, ladies and gentlemen, it's not a two-way street here in America. If you're on the right, if you speak truth to power, if you dare to fight against the establishment, and it's not even right and left, guys, but for the most part, I see most of the people who are actually fighting here on the right. There are some few exceptions, you know, Glenn Greenwald, for example, or Jimmy Dore. There are people on the left. I'm not saying they don't exist. Tim Pool happens to be in the middle. There are centrists as well who happen to be fighting the good fight. But for the most part, conservatives en masse are being absolutely deplatformed and censored. So for those of you who don't know, Parler CEO Matz is fired less than 1 month after the supposed insurrection. Parler fired CEO John Matz just weeks after the conservative social media site was shut down over violent and incendiary posts about the Capitol siege. This is a total joke. There was actually information that was parsed down that a majority of these people that actually went to the Capitol actually grouped up on Facebook. Now, of course, did Amazon services actually go out of their way to try to shut down Facebook? Of course not. Did they do it, you know, for Twitter when all of the Antifa were coming together, or Black Lives Matter that were coming together that were going to do violence on random people, just the public in general? Did they stop it then? No. There were 60 posts out of millions, if not billions of posts. They managed to find 60 that happened to do with the Capitol. And of course, is Facebook, is Twitter, is any of them? No, they go after the one place, the only place where you are able to speak truth. Now, of course, there's Gab and stuff like that. But for those of you who don't know, in the state of Florida, and I'm hoping Ron DeSantis changes this, and I actually have a story about Ron DeSantis right after this. The Miami server actually blocks you from going to Gab. So you're not even able to use a free speech platform in America. You are not allowed to speak truth. You are not allowed. Stuff makes me so mad. You are not allowed to speak truth in America. So free. This place is so free, guys. My throat. Sorry, guys. B. Hayes literally made him a lefty for life. Yeah. Either way, so this guy's kicked to the curb, right? John Matz is kicked to the curb. And this is a great example to watch out for venture capitalists, aka vulture capitalists, because I don't see this as a good thing. For those of you who don't know, John Matz is kind of, you know, I would like to say that he isn't the purest of pure. He happened to go after people like Nick Fuentes, for example, who I don't agree with 100%. But when I see infighting and I don't see people willing to work together, especially when this country is falling apart, it really is pathetic. So I don't see this as a net positive for the company, and this is probably going to lead to Parler taking a lot longer to becoming more established and back online. So for now, hey, until they kick me off Twitter, I'm going to continue to use it. I'm going to continue to use all of these platforms until they kick me off. But the amount of censorship is out of this world. It blows everything out of the water. I really do miss Parler and the amount of reach you're able to actually get. One thing that I really did like about Parler as well, kind of going off on a tangent, was it showed you the amount of impressions that you actually got when you posted a particular comment or a particular parlay, which was kind of cool as well. You know, very open source and stuff like that. Speaking of open source, for those of you who haven't seen, this is the path forward. And you know, it's kind of ironic because I brought this up a couple weeks ago where I said, hey, look, if we were going to fight for an internet bill of rights, rather than trying to go for the big federal reach, given the Democratic control, they don't want to allow free speech. They put their oath up for the Constitution and then they shit all over it. They don't care about the Constitution. They only care about power. That's all they care about. Democrats and Republicans. Democrats and Republicans. Both pieces of shit. But of course, you probably already know that. For those of you who haven't seen, this is one Republican that I can get behind. He is also part of the Jewish lobby. So again, not 100% pure like most people. I can't agree with him on everything, but this is something great. And he also happens to be the governor of my state. So hopefully this comes to fruition, because it would mean that these social media companies, I would be able to opt out of their quote-unquote content filter. And I'm wondering if this would affect content creators as well. Heck, if more and more red states start to do this, you're going to see a migration that has not been seen in a very long time. People are already fleeing blue states en masse, moving to red states because everything is out of control. The lockdowns, the COVID measures that are clearly not working. It's really insidious, but take a look. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis declares war on big tech cartels, vows to fine Facebook and Twitter $100,000 a day if they censor any lawmaker in his state. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has declared war on big tech cartels, proposing a new law targeting firms who deplatform candidates from office. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Laura Loomer, she actually ran. She was banned off Twitter. She was not able to communicate whatsoever. And she happened to actually, if the vote was only in-person voting, she would have won in her predominantly dark blue district in northern Florida. With that said, in a press conference on Tuesday, DeSantis issued a series of recommendations that are expected to be included in legislation as the Transparency and Technology Act, saying big tech is becoming more like Big Brother, amen, with each passing day. Today, they may come for someone who looks like me. Tomorrow, they may come after someone who looks like you, DeSantis warned at the end of his address to reporters at the state capitol, during which he took aim at big tech companies. Unbelievable. This is awesome. I don't believe it actually lists it here, but here we go. Transparency and Technology Act. This is what the bill does, giving them power to opt out of post promoting and shadow banning algorithms. Unbelievable. If this actually comes to be, if this comes into law, Florida could literally become the online creators paradise. People would literally move to Florida for the sole purpose of creating online content, which would be great for the state as well. Stops frequent changes in terms of use and requires communication and consent for terms of use changes, which is great, because a lot of times it will say, if you just go onto the app, if you just log in, if you happen to just view it, then you are automatically accepting the terms of use without actually giving you the terms of use itself. The bill holds social media companies accountable by stopping them from arbitrarily censoring and deplatforming users. That's awesome. Requires them to publish consistently, apply standards for users censoring, shadow banning, and deplatforming. The bill creates enforcement tools like letting users sue social media platforms if they don't consistently apply their standards or don't give required notice, and give the Florida Attorney General tools to combat big tech and anti-competitive practices. Holy crap. 96 Bitfer, I voted for Ron. It was a close race. Florida dodged a bullet. Yes, we did. For those of you unfamiliar, there was a man by the name of Gillum. Mr. Barack Obama himself actually came down here to Florida to help Gillum try to become the next governor of Florida. And he happened to be found, it might have been Miami, but definitely southern Florida. And I believe he was on meth, and he was with a couple gay dudes. No, I really don't care about that, but the man is, Mr. Gillum is married, and he happened to become very, very close to actually becoming the governor of Florida. He was also talking about instituting a state tax, which would have absolutely decimated this state as well. So very, very happy. Awesome to hear from you, 96 Bigford. Stephen Flindahl, where's your swastika? I got it shoved up your ass. Oh my God, get out of here, lefties. Just go. Just go. Just go back to your little happy huddle hole. God, fucking losers. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hear it all the time. I hear it from people, and I might just start doing this on every single podcast. Might be to shake it up every single time, but I hear people saying, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? I think at the end of the day, many people should take kind of an Ayn Rand approach. Maybe be a little bit more selfish to yourself, because it really seems like right now America is at a turning point, and at the end of the day, you need to protect you, your family, the people you love, your tribe. And that's what this is ultimately about, because right now, with all the laws coming down the line, there are currently talks right now about introducing a gun bill, which would make it basically nearly impossible for somebody to become, if you're poor, you're basically not going to be able to defend yourself. So we are not looking too good in that aspect. Thump post, not me. Okay. Very cool. Okay, so here's what we can do, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who haven't looked, crypto is insane right now. And by the way, I am not an advisor. I am not a financial advisor, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. But I have invested, a few $100s in Bitcoin and Ethereum. And as you see, the prices have been going up and up and up. I was saying to you guys a couple weeks ago when it was down at 33,000, hey, you guys, maybe you should look into this. For those of you who are interested, if you go down below and you check out the referral code, if you happen to use Coinbase, you get a free $10 if you happen to buy $100 in crypto. It's a in my purview, in my opinion, it is a relatively safe place given the amount of money that's being pumped into the economy right now. They're talking about an additional $2 trillion pumped into the economy. Right now, with everything going on in Wall Street, you clearly see that the game is rigged. There's absolutely nothing that's fair about this society, whether it be voting, whether it be, like this entire election was a total farce. Now you have people going in saying, hey, I'm going to affect your wallet. And in tandem, the SEC and basically the entire stock exchange gets taken down because a couple firms happen to lose out on their shorts, and Main Street happen to actually get some money out of it. So what do? You have Janet Yellen. She is the Secretary Treasury who happened to receive $800,000, who happened to actually be in tandem with Robinhood. So again, I don't know, guys. The dollar is going to crash at some point. We are currently in the fall of Rome. You see the amount of social just calamity that's going on across the entire United States right now, and I would recommend you secure your investments. The dollar is losing its value every single day. They're actually trying to pump up the value of the dollar right now using Keynesian economics. But we are in a free fall. So if you are interested, check it out. Bitcoin and Ethereum. I've already made, a few $100, already working my way up to 1,000, and I only put in a few hundred to begin with. So that's pretty freaking sweet. Next thing. I got my boy 96 Bigford, no homo right here, guys. But we got to get swole, dudes. We got to get freaking too jacked for the gulag. Nothing scares a libtard quite like a masculine man. Nothing quite scares a libtard quite like a jacked man. Nothing quite scares a libtard like a dude who could outrun you and never be put in the gulag. There's a link down below. This is a really simple workout plan, guys. For those of you who do not have access to a gym, I guess unfortunate, do what you can until in the meantime. This is a nice little program. It's very, very basic, super easy for beginners. You can check it out in the description below. It's just a 6-week workout program to build muscle. I'm pretty sure everyone wants to get jacked. So we're looking at your money, your wealth. We're looking at your health right now. And now we're going to look at your relationships. So this book I highly recommend. For those of you who haven't seen, it's called Models Attract Women Through Honesty. It's a very, very simple game. Wouldn't you guys want to have, a nice little, provide you're not married, would you or, maybe if your wife's into whatever. Anyway, either way, wouldn't it be nice to have a nice little quarantine boo right now, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very simple book. You can pick it up down in the link below. It does help the channel as well. It's very, very simple. Just a straight, no fluff, no BS approach to how to interact with women and communicate in a masculine way and present your best possible version of yourself so that you can have the dating life and the sex life that you actually want. So check that out as well. With that said, guys, in terms of the political landscape, I think at the end of the day, we all know what this is all going to come down to, unfortunately. And I hate to say that, and I really hope it doesn't go that way, but I mean, this is the fall of Rome. We are currently living in the fall of Rome, and it's going to take strong men in order to take this country back. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. I have to be very careful with what I say because apparently YouTube said I was inciting criminal behavior last time. So let's just keep it nice and cool here. But this is all love. And at the end of the day, we do need more love. But these people want to kill us. So I'm not going to love somebody that wants us dead. So, yeah, that's basically it is what it is. Stay for probably another 5 or 10 minutes. Maybe read some comments, and we'll wrap things up, ladies and gentlemen. All right. 96 Bigford, he should be Trump's new VP if he runs again. I don't actually think Donald Trump is going to run again. It would be very, very shocking if he did. I'm pretty sure he's just going to chill. He's going to bang his supermodel wife. He's going to hang out and, you know, hit some golf balls. And he's basically just going to be like a kingmaker. You know what I mean? So Winston Churchill actually lost one of his re-elections after winning World War II. I'm not saying, you know, Trump's in that level of Winston Churchill, so to speak, but he was a galvanizing force for populism in the United States. So it really does feel like this is going to be the next jump. It could be Ron DeSantis. The only thing that I have in terms of pushback from Ron DeSantis was he did sign a bill, and I'm going to tread very lightly here because one of my favorite content creators, Ryan Dawson, was actually recently banned for pushing back against the Israeli lobby in the United States. And I do know that Ron DeSantis actually happened to go to Israel and happened to actually write a law in Florida that made it so that on college campuses, you weren't allowed to basically fight back against Israel. There were ways to do it, but he just made it more difficult. And any attack on free speech in my book is a total no-no. You know, if I ever, you know, move up in terms of influence, if I could ever catch his ear on that subject, it would really be great. Stephen Flindell, thumb post, not me. Oh, thumb post, not me. Oh, okay, got you. It's Cody. I turned my living room into a gym. Today was leg day. Don't skip leg day, ladies and gentlemen. Leg day is the only day. Leg day actually makes you live longer. You know, of course, there's like 50,000 different scientific studies about what makes you live longer, but apparently leg strength is one of them. So never skip leg day. You never want to look like a chicken leg. Ray, I could bench 225 pounds at least 10 to 15 times, but you don't need to go to the gym. Calisthenics is perfect. Prison style, yeah. Hey, that's freaking awesome, Ray. Man, I wish I could get that weight up. My chest press and my bench is my weakest part. Actually, I did chest today, so that's definitely something I need to work on. So that's freaking awesome. Bigford, nobody's perfect, but we don't have a lot of choices. Hey, it is what it is. I mean, right now, just do your best to do what you can do. Health, wealth, and relationships. At the end of the day, a lot of this political stuff is completely out of your control. I say it time and time again, just look into local politics. You know, if you're consuming political content on a daily basis, just go out there and figure out what you have to do to run. Like, it's really not that difficult, especially if you're in a small locale. I'm not saying become a House member or become the next congressman or become the next president. I'm saying, hey, what if you saw that, mosquitoes in your area are absolutely insane. You feel like you could do a better job. Maybe you run for pest control. Maybe you see the parks and you're like, oh man, this stuff is crap. They're doing a terrible job. Maybe you run for parks and recreation. Hey, you know what? This mayorship, these people aren't doing a very good job, and you run for mayor. Like, you can start small and work your way up. And that's really, unfortunately, it's the way it's done. And I think a lot of people are getting really sick of Republicans and really sick of Democrats. So even if you happen to run as an independent, I feel like your chances are just as good as any, because, hey, if you're not Republican and you're not Democrat and you find a way to get yourself on that ballot, you have just as good of a chance as anybody, because most of these people are freaking corrupt. Ray, true. Thanks, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're sitting at about, we got half dozen viewers in here right now. That's pretty sick. I'm pretty happy about that. Really want to thank you for your time. Thank you for stopping in. And of course, we'll continue pumping this content out for you. Really appreciate all of you guys. The coal train and the coal factory is moving very, 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 very fast into the near future. And we are looking towards better days, ladies and gentlemen. And not all is lost. Some battles must be lost for the war to ultimately be won. Yeah, so with that said, ladies and gentlemen, if you like this type of content, go down below, like, subscribe, share, and of course, leave a comment if you think I deserve it. The coal factory and the coal train on our way to 1,000 Patriots strong. Thanks to people like you, yes, you, watching content like this. I'll see you guys in the next one. Love ya. Peace. Coal train. Choo-choo! Yeah. Lift some weights. Go talk to some pretty womans, or if you're a girl, go talk to some, sexy boys, sexy boy. Call your mother, call your father, tell them you love them, and take care of your family and your friends, and we're going to get through this.